JBN to keep you informed. I'm Michelle Jones. Before we get into the news, please remember to like, subscribe, leave a comment, and to share the news with someone today. Now onto the news. 6 dead as leptospirosis outbreak declared in Jamaica. The Ministry of Health and Wellness has declared a leptospirosis outbreak in Jamaica following the passage of Hurricane Melissa more than 3 weeks ago. Health Minister Dr. Christopher Tufton shared the update on Friday morning during a post-Melissa briefing.
Today's press conference is to announce that Jamaica is now experiencing an outbreak of leptospirosis with an increase in the number of confirmed and suspected or probable cases reported across multiple parishes over the last week. The outbreak follows the passage of Hurricane Melissa, which has created conditions that have increased the risk of exposure to contaminated water and soil. Leptospirosis, as we informed the public during our meeting, Let's Talk Recovery series on Sunday last, is a significant public health risk following heavy rainfall, flooding, or any major disaster. The bacteria that causes this disease thrives in water contaminated by urine of infected animals, especially rats, but also cats, dogs, and livestock. Leptospirosis can affect anyone who comes into contact with contaminated water, soil, or mud. That includes farmers, persons engaged in cleanup activities, emergency responders, and others navigating flood areas. The meeting last evening with my team confirmed that there are 9 cases that are confirmed, 28 suspected or probable cases, and these numbers are from October 30th, 2025 to November 20, 2025. The numbers reflect significantly more cases than the 2 to 21 cases observed in the preceding 34 months. There have been 6 deaths from among the suspected cases. There are no deaths from among the confirmed or probable cases at this time. 8 parishes have confirmed and or suspected cases. St. Anne, St. Mary, St. James, Hanover, Westmoreland, St. Elizabeth, St. Catherine, and Trelawney, with additional reported cases under investigation. I want to just make it clear or set the context for how cases are actually declared. Declaring an outbreak is important because it enables declaring an outbreak is important because it enables a country to activate a fast and more coordinated public health response. An official declaration signals to the health system that immediate action is needed to identify cases, to contain the spread, and to prevent severe illness or death. In fact, there's a requirement once you have an outlier event in terms of the numbers to actually declare. It also unlocks resources such as surge staffing, diagnostic supplies, and emergency funding, and strengthens national surveillance so that cases can be detected, treated, and monitored more efficiently.
Wanted man killed during police operation in St. Thomas. Residents dispute official account. A man wanted for murder in the Kingston East Police Division was fatally shot early Friday morning during a targeted security operation in Gutterhead, St. Thomas. He has been identified as Christopher Duffus, otherwise called Chris, of a Gutterhead address. According to police reports, a team of officers went to a premises in search of the suspect when they allegedly came under gunfire. They say they returned the fire and Duffus was subsequently shot. He was pronounced dead a short time later. However, several residents have challenged the police's account, insisting that Duffus was inside his home with relatives when officers allegedly forced their way in and opened fire. They claim no shootout occurred. The Independent Commission of Investigations Indicom has launched a probe into the circumstances surrounding the incident. Indicom is also investigating a separate police-involved shooting in Marley Acres, Old Harbour, St. Catherine. Additional details on that case were not immediately available. Trelawney Higgler dies in motorcycle crash on North Coast Highway. A Trelawney Higgler lost his life Thursday afternoon after the motorcycle he was driving crashed into a parked vehicle along a section of the North Coast Highway. The deceased has been identified as 45-year-old David Myers, otherwise known as Junior, from Zion District in Trelawney. Reports indicate that around 5:30 p.m., Myers was traveling along the Hague roadway on a Champion motorcycle when he allegedly lost control and collided with a Ford Ranger pickup that was parked on the side of the road. He sustained severe injuries and was rushed to hospital, where he later succumbed to his injuries. Myers' death brings the number of road fatalities recorded in Trelawney since the start of the year to 20. The Trelawney police have since launched an investigation into the circumstances surrounding the crash. Boy killed in crash involving JUTC bus. The family of a 10-year-old boy is in mourning after was killed in a crash involving a Jamaica Urban Transit Company JUTC bus in Vineyard Town, St. Andrew. The child, identified as Shamari Sharp, a grade 5 student of Mountain View Primary School, died after he was hit by the bus on 4th Avenue about 7:32 a.m. Reports say the JUTC bus was traveling north along 4th Avenue when it struck Shamari, causing severe injuries. He was rushed to the Kingston Public Hospital, where he was pronounced dead. According to reports, Shamari was walking along the roadway when he reportedly stepped into the path of the bus as he tried to get around a car that was parked along the road. A resident said that the visibly shaken female driver of the bus was taken from the scene by the police. Meanwhile, Dr. Lucian Jones, Vice Chair of the National Road Safety Council, said he's concerned about the number of children being killed in road mishaps. 15 children have been killed along the nation's roads since the start of the year. Dr. Jones is urging parents to ensure the safety of their children traveling to and from school.
Most of the deaths in this age group, 0 to 18, have involved children riding on a motorcycle. But some, including this young child, have died as pedestrians trying to find their way home safely. This, of course, raises the issue of how do we as a nation that cares for our very vulnerable young people ensure that they reach home safely day after day coming from school. Is it that our children need more supervision? For example, should an adult or older sibling be there for them when they come off the bus and walk home, or when walking the entire distance from school? Should we try to expand the school bus system so that no child is left behind to fend for his or herself? How old is old enough to negotiate the ever-present traffic on the streets of the nation's capital or any other busy thoroughfare in Jamaica?
Teen charged following alleged carjacking. A 17-year-old boy has been charged after allegedly partaking in an armed carjacking. The teen is charged with robbery with aggravation, possession of a prohibited weapon, and using a firearm to commit a felony following the incident on Snipe Road, Kingston 5, on Sunday, October 12. Reports from the Halfway Tree Police are that between 11 p.m. and 12 a.m., the boy and his accomplices, posing as passengers, requested the services of a popular ride-sharing company. Shortly after embarking on the vehicle, one of the men reportedly held a knife to the driver's neck and another pointed a gun at him. It is alleged that the teen dragged the man from the vehicle, after which they drove away with the car with a bag containing $50,000 and electronic devices valued at $60,000. A report was made to the police and an investigation into the matter was launched immediately. The teen was later arrested during a targeted operation and was summarily charged following a question and answer session in the presence of his attorney and guardian. His court date is being arranged. Full Hurricane Melissa electricity restoration could take 6 months, says PM. Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness disclosed that, based on projections, it could take up to 6 months to achieve full electricity restoration to all affected communities following Hurricane Melissa.
Currently, JPS has 600 linesmen and with their equipment in the island. Some of those linesmen will leave shortly. On the general trajectory, it could be as long as 6 months before electricity is returned to every community in Jamaica. Thankfully, we are at 70% now. By the 15th of December, we may very well be at, maybe 75% or more. But that last mile in the particularly devastated area, that is going to take a lot of time. So there are two things that you trade off. It's time and resources. So if you use less resources, it takes a longer time. If you use more resources, it may take a shorter time. So we are working with JPS to bring in more resources so that it takes a shorter time. We are of the view, based upon JPS's assessment, I will leave them to give you the details, that they could shave 2 to 3 months of total recovery if they have the resources up front to deal with the recovery. So they want to have 900 linesmen, which would mean bringing in an additional 300 linesmen. And so the government is working with them to see that we can get this done so that we can get electricity back much faster than is projected. And if we get electricity back quicker, then water comes back quicker, communities start to normalize, we're in a better position. So I want to just update the nation on that we are seeking to move very quickly to restore your electricity. We are at 75% now, 70% now. By December 15th, we could very well be at 75%, and we are working as quickly as possible to get to full restoration.
Government targeting hard-hit communities in hurricane debris response, exploring options to manage waste, expressing concern about the potential health risks posed by debris left in the wake of Hurricane Melissa. Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness says a team has been established to oversee and manage the cleanup efforts, noting that the government is exploring several strategies to manage the debris.
Communities all over Jamaica that have been badly affected are now at risk, potential health hazards. And for the communities of West Green and Catherine Hall in St. James, they are of particular risk because they had a quite unique situation where their houses were flooded and there was a residue of mud, a deluge actually of mud, and it really created a problem. What we have done is I have put together a special team headed by Minister Wheatley and Minister Morgan, and I have assigned them to ensure that the debris management process is effectively administered on the ground in specific communities, not general garbage collection, but we have to do some targeted collection of debris. For example, in West Green and Catherine Hall. I'm pleased to say that the NSWMA, and in addition to the efforts of the mayor of Montego Bay, that they would have by now removed some. Well, my statement here says they have done about 1,300, but that was as of Monday. I'm being told that they are closer to 2,000 truckloads that they have moved from Catherine Estates and West Green. But I think the bigger thing to note is the deployment of 200 persons who we had, in addition to the deployment of the Jamaica National Service Corps from the JDF, about 100, a little bit more than a company-size deployment. And they have been in the space working with the most vulnerable, our elderly and disabled and other persons who are infirm, who are just not able to clean up their own houses or move out their furniture. And they are helping. And so that is having an impact on the community. And we intend to use this model to focus on other areas. We're having in our sites looking at communities in Falmouth and St. Anne's Bay, and of course we have to go into areas like White House and Bluefields and those areas that have been significantly impacted. Of course, there is the very difficult situation in Black River as well. In further support of that, I have mobilized the UDC to take on some specific communities. In another press brief, I will give some information about what tasks we have given to various government entities to support the recovery. So I want to give hope to the people of Jamaica that though this figure of almost 500,000 truckloads is daunting and far greater than we have ever faced, because the challenge is not just to move the debris, where do you store it? And how do you store it safely? And so we are examining all the options, including recycling, using the wood chippers to reduce the wood, including having a structured approach to the recovery of scrap metals, and other such strategies to make sure that we can properly manage this debris.
JBN will keep you informed. Please remember to subscribe, like, share, leave us a comment, and click the notification bell to receive our daily news items.